Hey y'all, I'm back and I have more creepy stories for you guys. I'm filming this so early, like I just woke up, but I had this urge to film. So here we are. So if my voice sounds a little tired, that's because I am. I found this last night and I've been dying to dive into this, which is probably where the urge to film came from. But this says, Redditors who have a Ring doorbell, what's the creepiest thing you've caught on it? Had mine detect the sound of someone screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night. Was only like 2 seconds, then stopped, and it didn't happen again. Then there was this time there was a shootout across the street and it picked up the sounds of gunshots. I could hear the crack of the bullets on the opposite side of the house, but sadly not on camera. The screaming, the guns. No, because what are you supposed to do? If you wake up in the morning, you rewatch your Ring footage and you hear somebody screaming, what are you supposed to do? Yeah, I'd call the police, but like at that point, they'd be like, sorry, there's nothing we can do. I think I found a guy trying to stake out my place. He came up to my door, knocked on it, tried to ring the doorbell was broken, and finally rang my Ring doorbell. He looked shocked to see that it was working, and he quickly took off in his car. My place was kind of burglarized a year before. I caught the burglar outside and screamed at him. Yeah, I don't like that, because you know he had bad intentions when he realized, oh, they know that I just rang the doorbell, and then he takes off. A dude was crouching behind my car while me and my mom got out, crept up right behind it, and we didn't even notice. His face was covered. Didn't see until a day or two later while watching random clips. See, like, I don't know if I'd be able to ever rewatch the footage, because if I ever saw something like that. My mom saw a guy wandering around her yard with a baseball bat in hand late at night. Her, my brother, and our Great Dane went out to ask him what the fuck he was doing. Guy immediately ran off. Used to think security cameras at home were weird. Now I know they can give you a head start in case something shady is about. That's a good point. I would like to know in the moment if something's happening, but like I just said, if something already happened and now it's way past, it's a day or two past, ignorance is bliss. This one's kind of funny. I was drunk as fuck watching my parents' house while they were on vacation. Woke up the next morning to a video my mom sent me. I was taking out the trash and dropped my phone in with the trash. I'm in my boxers trying to get my phone out of the trash can, and my drunk ass falls into the garbage can, and I had a hell of a time getting myself out. I remember none of it. My mom proceeds to send that video to the rest of the family and extended family and some of my family friends. Scary? No, but pretty hilarious. I would die to see that video. Some dude came up to our door in the middle of the night, kept saying, "Do y'all have gasoline?" and then just walked off. Did he knock or anything? He's just muttering to the door. Someone comments, well, did you? A couple of guys attacked my bushes with a machete and threw the branches in the driveway. My family thought I ran into the bushes and scolded me before I showed them the footage. Still don't know why this happened. I don't know. My neighbor's mom looking to come kick my ass while I was home. I didn't realize she was there until later because I had headphones on. At the time, I was 24 and he was 37, I think. He was all pissy because I told him next time I hear him beat his girlfriend, I'm calling the cops no matter how much she begs everyone not to. So he sent his fucking mom over. Rewatching that video just gives creepy vibes knowing that I was home but oblivious. I kind of love that you were oblivious. It's really funny that his mom came over to kick your ass, which is also insane. Like, she's coming to kick your ass because you're mad at her son for kicking his girlfriend's ass. I don't get it. Can you imagine being 37 and being like, Mom? 2 a.m. the dogs are going nuts. It's usually a cat, but they're not calming down. Sleepy and just awakened, it finally occurs to me to check the doorbell camera. There's a guy just hanging out on the front porch. He alternately sits on a windowsill or stands and leans against the wall. He gives the vibe that he is waiting in a way too long of a line, but does not try to ring the doorbell or knock. We call police non-emergency. He's not acting threatening in the slightest, just weird. Police pull up and talk to him. My best guess is that this was some sort of ambient sleepwalking or one of those cases where a UTI causes hallucinations. Doesn't have any idea that it's the middle of the night and thinks he's working and has to wait for the slacker in front of him to finish their job before he can get started. No, because why was my boyfriend dreaming about his new job last night? I don't know why that reminds me. He wasn't sleepwalking, but he was talking in his sleep about like mortgages. I was like, what is going on? I feel like that happens to me all the time though. If I work just a shit ton in a day, I will dream that I'm still working. And what a terrible dream to have. Like, can I ever catch a break? I live alone and my son recently installed a Ring doorbell. About 5:30 a.m. I got a notification that a person was seen at my door. I watched the video and there was a really creepy person, it was still dark out, hanging around. I rang my son, he has the app to access doorbell videos, etc. Turns out it was me showing my dog there was no one outside. Why would I also do that? I caught one of my neighborhood kids attempting to ding-dong ditch me. It was rather cute. He slid up the side of my entryway so I wouldn't be able to see him looking out the peephole and rang the doorbell and ran off. Roomie caught the whole thing on his app and sent it to me. That's so funny. Kids don't ding-dong ditch enough anymore. Although when I used to ding-dong ditch with my friends, I would hide and cry because I was so scared of getting in trouble. And I'm still like that. I am so scared of getting in trouble. I remember my friend's mom took us TPing once, and we TP'd like our friend, and it was not a lot of toilet paper. It was like nothing. I laid on the floor in her mom's car. Her mom is with us, driving us. I laid on the floor in the car, sobbing because I was so scared. Homeless people walking out of the woods near our house in the middle of the night so they could use our porch light to shoot here. Have a security camera pointed at the back of the house towards my detached back garage. The weirdest thing that still fucks with me was late night on 4th of July. The noise of neighborhood fireworks kept the regular animals away, but my camera did pick up an individual hanging around the back of the house and neighbor's back lawn. It definitely was a person, but they were walking on all fours like a goddamn spider. Not once did they go back to walking on their legs. They were gangly looking, lean and not pudgy, also wearing a dark shirt and pants. Their face was always kept down. This creeper was crawling all around the back and into the neighbors' lawns on all fours for like 10 minutes before they fucked off and left the area picked up by my security camera. The next morning, a pile of human-sized shit plus a copious amount of vomit was found in the middle of my driveway at the back of the house. There were whole unchewed Skittles in the vomit. So yeah, creepiest thing my outdoor camera has picked up. Gangly human crawling around on the back driveway of my house on all fours while vomiting up Skittles. Oh my god. I was like, oh, it's like a SW or something. No, they're probably just absolutely hammered. I had an insane, vagrant looking person on my front porch for about 10 minutes at 3 a.m. He was having a conversation with an imaginary person. I could make out him saying something like, "I'll get the shovel, Tommy, just don't hit me anymore." Why is that like kind of sad? I don't know why, but it just makes that, I don't know. Was working on and moving into a back house / apartment that wasn't quite ready yet. The creepy fall down drunk contractor who I had to let go from working on it pulled up at 5 a.m. and parked, but didn't get out of his van for several minutes. When he did finally get out, he was putting himself back into his pants and zipping up. Then he went through the gate and into the private patio where the camera couldn't see him anymore and was gone for 5 to 10 more minutes. After that 5 to 10 minutes, he reappeared back at his car without having retraced his steps back through the gate. I think he was looking all around to see if I had moved in yet. I'm a youngish single woman and trying to catch me before I woke up, if so. After that, I think he just walked through the private yard of the front house to get out. He cryptically texted me later that he noticed someone moved into the front house, and I freaked out because that someone is a single mom with 2 young kids. He came back a couple more times, but the cops were always too slow, of course. It's been a while now since the last visit, so I think he's done now, or dead, who knows. I really hate that. I really, really, really hate that. Because didn't you say you like fired him? Yeah, who I had to let go from working on it, and he's still showing up? That's weird as hell. There was a huge pile of crap by our front door, which we assumed came from a Great Dane or a Bernese Mountain Dog, something huge, and the owner didn't pick it up. My husband went through the night's video footage to see who the bad dog owner is so we would know which one of our neighbors suck. But it wasn't a dog. It was a man we didn't know. The footage was just bizarre. After he finished taking a crap, he then urinated on his heap and then seemed to regard the results with great pride. What the hell? But yeah, I don't need any more poop stories. This says related, like they made sure to be like, this is related, so I'm gonna guess it's gonna sound not related to Ring doorbells, but then it will be. When I was working in a restaurant / bar, I watched a guy walk in around 5:30, 6-ish. He didn't acknowledge me, just walked in and straight to the bathroom downstairs. It was just me and one table in the bar, and I've got a great view of the door from my perch. About 30 minutes goes by and I notice the guy isn't coming upstairs, so I go down to check the washrooms and they're empty. Then I check the closets, the staff room, there's no sign of him. I walk back upstairs and ask the table if they saw anyone come by. They said they saw somebody go downstairs, so I asked if the person came back up. They shrugged and said they weren't paying attention. I got kind of creeped out because I was watching the door the whole time and swore on my life I saw somebody walk in. Cameras were checked later and they didn't pick up anyone. They do pick up me going downstairs to check around and the table upstairs looking up when he would have walked in, but he doesn't show up. Also, the following day, a very cool vintage beer lamp that was on display vanished. The camera showed the lights going off overnight, and then they turn on and the lamp is gone. It was a big lamp. There were motion detectors who picked up nothing. All doors were locked and no sign of entry. Things would change place or go missing and then turn up. There would also be animals in inexplicable parts of the restaurant, like squirrels or possums, just randomly appearing even though we had no pest problems or points of entry. None of this ever showed up on camera. Long story short, the place was haunted as fuck. I honestly don't know what I think is worse, catching something paranormal on camera or like a real person. Probably a real person, but I just can't imagine being like, I know somebody walked in and then you watch the cameras and that person doesn't exist. I just like, what do you do with that information? Where I live, our houses are surrounded by walls, so nobody can actually walk from the street to the front door as they would have to go through the gate first. The people across the street from us came over to ask if we had camera footage from the night before as somebody had broken into their house. When we reviewed the camera footage from the security camera, we saw they had attempted to come into our house first by using an electricity box to try and climb over the wall. Fortunately, the wall and fence was still too high for them to get over it, but scary nonetheless. That's like catching somebody trying to break into your house or I can't, dude. Somebody quite literally just said praying mantis. And somebody goes, I love this one. All these people, like, I saw a man who walked like a spider, and I saw two men casually talk about my impending assault, and you got big spooky bug crawl on camera. Also, the reason I didn't read the one about impending assault is because I'm pretty sure I've read that in a video before, but it was about a woman, basically, who was, like, checking her Ring footage because it said people were at her door, or somebody was at her door, and it was two men dressed as police officers discussing who would her first. So, and I've definitely read that before, at least myself, so I assume it was in a video, and I'm good not reading all the details. We have a Ring camera with a floodlight in our backyard. Since our house is on a corner lot, we get traffic passing by, and with no fence, the light for the cars at night reaches our camera. There's a weird illusion with car lights and the angles of the camera that makes it look like a little ghost boy is running across our backyard when cars go by at night. I would pretend it was real, I don't care. Years ago, living with several roommates and my brother in his house in Florida, a guy banged on our front door and my roommates wanted to open the door to see what was up. I noticed through the door camera that he had a gun behind his back when he turned to check the street, told my roommates, and told them to call the cops. I politely informed the guy through our doorbell that currently there was a shotgun pointed directly at him and that I don't mind replacing a door and power washing the front porch a second time this month. He looked directly at the Ring doorbell, thought for a second or two, and walked away. Cops came a few minutes after he left, gave them a screenshot of his face and what I had of his vehicle. Not gonna lie, when the guy looked directly at the camera before leaving, I may have squirted a little bit of fear into my jammies. Blah! Did you actually have a gun though? Or were you lying? A friend of mine had a woman come up to his home at 3 in the morning, drunk, and trying to open the door with her set of keys. She then started banging, calling out some woman's name, which woke up my friend and one of his sisters. The woman then began to make threats. Cops came. Turns out the woman walked for 3 hours from a nightclub in the next town over and had gotten crazy drunk there. She was thrown out of the club because she was trying to start a fight with the other woman because none of the guys were hitting on her or something. Her home was 3 miles from the club, in the other direction. I cannot imagine walking 3 hours hammered. I would have passed out at some point. A couple years ago, a 22-ish-year-old door-to-door salesman came and knocked on the door like a sheriff with a warrant. So that was already startling. I turned off the TV and ran upstairs to my dad. He asked who it was, and they replied with Moxie. It's an extermination company. My dad told him he wasn't interested, but the dude started banging on the door. So my dad grabs his gun and tells him to leave immediately. He pretends like he can't hear him and incessantly, am I saying that word right, kept at it. My dad yelled that he was going to call the cops, and that's when he heard and ran off, calling my dad a bitch. When we looked at the footage, he had the most sinister smile. Really eerie. I guarantee you he wasn't actually a salesman. And then there's like 600 more replies, but I think we're going to stop there. This last one that I see says, I saw a man get shot and I didn't go out for a week after that. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot more where that came from if you want more. But that's all I'm gonna read for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if you guys have ever caught anything weird or disturbing, I don't know, on your Ring doorbell camera. I'll have my subreddit link down below if you want to share it with us. I'm gonna ramble the tiniest bit at the end of this. You guys, I have been filming non-stop for like 2 weeks. I have quite literally almost nothing to say, but I'm going to find something because you deserve a ramble. But I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye. I have been trying so hard to like have a better work schedule and like better work ethic in general, honestly, because I have zero work ethic. And honestly, like the last couple weeks I've been doing really good, and I've been filming like almost every day. Like well, not every day, that's dramatic, but I've been trying to film 3 videos a week to get myself ahead. And then also I want to start uploading 3 times a week. I'm not guaranteeing anything with that, only because once I guarantee it, I like freak myself out and then I stop doing it. Don't ask me why. But I'm doing really good. I'm like ahead 2 weeks right now, I think. And now I'm working on getting a 3rd video for each week. And I don't feel like burnt out or anything. I feel like normally I would feel super burnt out. I've been super motivated lately. I feel like my meds are doing a really good job right now. I hope this lasts. I'm having some issues with my meds, but it's nothing that I'm like super concerned about. For the time being, things could get bad in the future, but I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. And I'll go into detail about that like another time. I feel like it's really not important right now because I am doing really well. And I talk about this, I honestly don't even remember in what video I talk about this, but I started selling on Depop. If you guys have noticed in my last couple videos, if you even look at the description, I included my Depop. I talk about it in, I think it's a TikTok video, but I honestly don't remember when that video is going up. It could be before this one, it could be after this one, I don't know. But I started selling on Depop, and it's like a full-time fucking job. I have so many cool pieces that I have like collected over time, as well as my mom has a bunch of like vintage jeans and purses, like Coach purses, Miss Me jeans, whatever, that she wanted me to try to sell for her. So I have so much stuff listed right now, and honestly, it's so much fun. Like selling stuff, I love it. Because the majority of the stuff I'm selling was stuff that I already owned or thrifted, whatever, that I just don't like on myself, or it's like, I just have never worn it, and I have way too many clothes, so I was like, okay, get rid of it. Like, get fucking. I went through my closet and I was like, if you've never worn it, or if you've worn it once, or if you haven't even worn it in the last month, bye. And so I'm selling so much stuff. I've also gone thrifting since, and like if I find something like really cool that is not like my personal style, I will still get it because I feel like, I don't know, I'm like, somebody would love this. But it's kind of becoming a little addiction. Like, I don't even check Instagram anymore, I just check Depop. But if you guys are interested and want to check out my Depop, I'll have it linked down below. It's been linked in like my last couple videos, but talking about it, so I'm just letting you know. But yeah, that's all I really have because my life has been consumed by YouTube and Depop. But I'm gonna go. I love you guys so very much. You don't even understand. See ya.